Welcome to the briefest clash ever etched into military records, the Anglo-Zanzibar War of August, 1896, which blazed and vanished in a little more than half an hour. Picture a conflict so fleeting, the steam rising from your morning coffee would still be swirling when the shooting stopped. By the waning years of the 19th century, Europe's great empires had carved the African continent into a jigsaw of colonies and protectorates. Amid that scramble stood Zanzibar, a fragrant, palm-fringed island whose deep-water harbor made it a glittering pawn in Britain's imperial chess game. At the island's helm sat Sultan Hamad bin Thuwaini, a courteous ruler whose throne rested on polite friendship with London. Dawn, 27 August, 1896. The Sultan retires to his private chambers, unaware that his reign has only hours left to live. Before noon, he was struck down by a clandestine poison, the palace whispering of treachery behind silken curtains. By sundown, Hamad lay lifeless, and a hush of dread settled over the corridors of power. An empty throne rarely stays vacant for long. The power vacuum gaped like an open wound at the heart of the palace. Into that vacuum surged Prince Khalid bin Barghash, who stormed the harem court and declared himself sultan, without so much as a nod to the British consul. London's agents bristled. Khalid was not their chosen man, and his sudden coronation threatened Britain's delicate web of influence. On whose authority, they bark, do you presume to wear that crown? The consul delivers a stark ultimatum: renounce the throne, vacate the palace immediately. Khalid was given until 9 o'clock the next morning to comply or face the consequences of defiance. He scoffed at the ultimatum, slammed the palace gates, while Royal Navy gunboats edged into firing position across the harbor. Aboard his St. George, crews rammed shells home and ran the great naval guns out over the water. At exactly 9:02, a thunderclap of iron and smoke shattered the morning calm. The bombardment had begun. Cannonballs tore through the largely wooden palace, which erupted into a roaring inferno within moments. Even the royal yacht HMS Glasgow Pride of the Sultan's fleet was sent to the harbor floor in minutes. Amid deafening blasts, the palace roof gave way, and terror rippled through servants and soldiers alike. Khalid's poorly trained guards shattered, tossed their rifles aside, and sprinted for the nearest gate still standing. Civilians, too, spilled into the smoke-clouded streets, desperate to escape the blazing waterfront. High on the bridge of St. George, British officers cool as afternoon tea calculate the next salvo. 3 naval guns boom in metronomic rhythm, turning battle into grim target practice. Realizing the game is lost, Khalid slips out a rear gate and dashes toward the German consulate. German officials receive him with stiff courtesy, offering asylum beyond Britain's reach. Sheltered there for days, the deposed prince was quietly ferried to German East Africa. At 9:40 a.m., a mere 38 minutes after the first shot, hostilities ceased and silence fell. Britain wastes no time. It crowns the compliant Sultan Hamad bin Mohammed, restoring imperial order. Zanzibar, once sovereign, now drifts as a polite puppet on the strings of empire. The butcher's bill is grotesque, roughly 500 Zanzibaris dead to a single wounded Briton. Britain dictates the terms of peace ink still drying on walls warm from the blaze. Then, with imperial sang-froid, it invoices Zanzibar for the palace it just destroyed. Administrative business concluded. British officers straighten their tunics and return to their tea. And thus, almost between 2 sips ends the strangest, shortest war in human memory. 38 minutes, 1 toppled sultan, a palace in flames, and an empire that barely broke a sweat that was the Anglo-Zanzibar War. 500 lives lost for a single wounded sailor. And history still calls it a war. But what do you think, was this a true conflict, or just a lightning brief skirmish? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed the story, hit like and subscribe for more bite-sized history.